Have you ever told yourself, just this once, then somehow you found yourself repeating the same behavior again? If you've ever felt stuck in a habit involving pornography, you're not alone. And here's something important. It doesn't automatically mean you're weak, lazy, or lacking self-control. Sometimes you're dealing with something much simpler, a habit loop. And once you understand how that loop works, you can start changing it. Let's imagine this. You're bored, you're stressed, you're alone. Maybe you're scrolling on your phone late at night, then something triggers an urge. Your brain remembers a behavior that has previously provided stimulation or temporary relief, so the urge gets stronger. You repeat the behavior, and for a short time you feel different. That temporary reward teaches your brain, remember this, do it again next time, and that's how a repeated behavior can become a habit. The important thing is that the trigger isn't always the same. It could be boredom, stress, loneliness, procrastination, or simply being in the same environment where the habit usually happens. Think of the habit like a four-step loop trigger. Something happens that starts the urge, craving. Your brain starts expecting the reward. Behavior. You follow the familiar pattern. And finally, reward. Your brain experiences temporary relief or stimulation. Then the cycle repeats. The problem isn't necessarily one isolated moment. The problem is repetition. Every time the same pattern happens, the pathway can become more automatic. Eventually, you might not even consciously think, should I do this? Your brain simply recognizes the trigger and starts pushing you toward the familiar behavior. But here's the good news. Habits can change. Your brain is capable of learning new patterns too. A common mistake is thinking, tomorrow I'll just use more willpower. But willpower isn't unlimited. If you're tired, stressed, bored, or constantly surrounded by triggers, relying on willpower alone can make things much harder. Instead, change the environment. If your phone is the main trigger, don't keep it beside your bed at night. If being alone and bored leads you toward the habit, have something planned. Go for a walk, exercise, work on a hobby, talk to someone, study somewhere different. The goal isn't to sit there fighting an urge for hours. The goal is to make the old habit harder and the healthier alternative easier. Here's a simple exercise. For a few days, pay attention to when the urge appears. Ask yourself, where am I? What time is it? What was I feeling beforehand? Was I bored, stressed, lonely, or tired? And most importantly, what happened immediately before the urge? You don't need to judge yourself. You're simply collecting information, because once you know your triggers, you can prepare for them. For example, if late-night phone use is a trigger, create a different nighttime routine. If boredom is a trigger, keep a list of activities ready. If stress is a trigger, find another way to decompress. You're not trying to eliminate every uncomfortable feeling. You're teaching your brain, an urge doesn't have to control what I do next. Another important point, changing a habit isn't about becoming perfect overnight. If you slip back into an old pattern, don't tell yourself, I've failed, so there's no point trying. Instead, ask, what triggered it? Then learn from it. Maybe you were exhausted. Maybe you were stressed. Maybe your environment made the behavior extremely easy. Whatever the reason, use it as information. One difficult moment doesn't erase your progress. What matters is the direction you're moving in. And if this habit feels impossible to control or is interfering with your daily life, school, relationships, or well-being, talking to a trusted adult or qualified mental health professional can be a really good step. You don't have to figure everything out alone. Instead of focusing your entire life around don't do this, build a life that gives your brain better things to do. Sleep properly. Exercise regularly. Spend time with people you trust. Work toward meaningful goals. Learn something new. Put your phone away when you need to focus. And fill your time with activities that actually make you feel accomplished. Because you're not just trying to remove an addiction, you're replacing an old pattern with better ones. But here's the thing, understanding the habit is only the first step, because addiction isn't just about what you do. That's why I made another video explaining how addiction hijacks your brain's reward system and why breaking the cycle can feel so difficult. If you want to understand what's really happening inside your brain, watch that video next.